how you doing? This is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com, the website that has helped hundreds of thousands of people to quit drinking without willpower, without rehab, without embarrassing group meetings, any of that nonsense. If you're worried about your drinking, go to the website right now, StopDrinkingExpert.com, and get a free copy of my book, Alcohol Lied to Me. All right. First of all, sorry about the husky voice and the nasal sound. I'm just on the back end of a cold. It was horrible, sucked, but I'm all right. I just sound a bit ropey. So today, I've got a good one for you today. Oh, you're going to love this. And I need to say thank you to someone who sent me a link. Earl Dennis sent me a link to an article in the Sun newspaper, which is a British newspaper. It's awful. It's terrible. But it is one of the major national newspapers. Here's the headline that we're going to be talking about. Raise a glass. A drink a day slashes your risk of silent killers by busting stress. Oh my God. Can we all go back to drinking? Maybe they've stumbled across something amazing here. Let's talk about that in just a moment. First of all, I want to share with you an email I got 20 minutes ago from a lady called Linda. And she said, hi, Craig. I've just visited my local vineyard. And I was speaking to the owner of the vineyard. And he was explaining to me that their wine is of such high quality and the ingredients in it are so good that you get less of a hangover if you drink their wine than the cheaper stuff. Is there any truth in this? Where do I start? So, come on, Linda. I mean, Linda, that's like going up to your local drug dealer and saying, right, tell me honestly, now don't lie. Do you sell good drugs or shitty drugs? Which one is it? What do you think they're going to say? It's like going up to the Ford dealership and speaking to the Ford car salesman and saying, what's the best type of car I could buy? Linda! Anyway, I replied to Linda with all this, and she bounced back 5 seconds later. Reply came back. She went, okay, thanks for the clarification. So just to confirm, you're saying you get the same hangover with expensive wine as you do with cheap wine. And do you know what I replied? Nothing at all, because there's no point. Linda is so deep in denial, it's going to take years for her to get to the point where she realizes that the hangover is just a distraction. It doesn't mean anything. A hangover is just how the body feels when it's been poisoned. If you took another type of poison in a low dose, you would feel a hangover. All right? Except we've somehow got into this distortion where a hangover is something funny. Ha, 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 I feel terrible. Get me a McDonald's. It's just evidence you were poisoned. That's all. So look, if you're watching this video and you're still drinking and you're, trying to console yourself that you're not an alcoholic because you only drink beer and not whiskey, or you only drink wine with your meal and you don't touch the hard stuff, forget about it. You're just fooling yourself. It doesn't matter what you drink. It doesn't matter whether you drink beer, wine, whiskey, cocktails, alcohol pops. Doesn't matter, because all of those things are the same thing. They are a delivery mechanism for the drug. Getting proud of yourself and boasting because you drink beer and not whiskey is like getting proud and boasting because you smoke menthol cigarettes instead of normal ones. It might appear to be healthier, but it's not. The outcome is the same: death. So it doesn't matter what you drink. Doesn't matter if you're a big whiskey drinker or a big beer drinker. It's the same thing. All right. Okay, let's get into this newspaper article, because maybe all this is redundant. Maybe at the end of this video, I'm going to shut up shop and conclude that we can all go back to drinking because it's good for us. I doubt it, but let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Raise a glass. A drink a day slashes your risk of silent killers by busting stress. It's quite a recent article. This is 12th of June, 2023. Drinking alcohol cuts your heart risk by stamping out stress, a study found. What study? I presume they've mentioned it here. Oh, no, they haven't. Okay. So a unnamed study found. All right, fine. Light to moderate consumption of 1 or 2 drinks per day can protect your ticker. This doesn't feel like a medical report, but okay. It's protecting your ticker by relaxing you, excuse me, and reducing harmful swelling and damage in the blood vessels. So we're less than a paragraph in here, and we already have a blatant lie. In fact, let's go to a actual medical site. This is an official United States government medicines website, PubMed Central. Alcohol's effects on the cardiovascular system. And as you'll see here, if you go right down to the bottom, this is what I talk about. These are the references. When they refer to a study in a medical story, they normally give you the exact reference as to which study. But let's forgive the Sun newspaper for that, because it's just a trashy red top. But let's skip all of this data here because it's quite hard reading, and let's just go down to the summary. Where's the summary gone? Must be up here. Hang on. Here we go. Alcohol consumption remains a major risk factor for global burden of disease. Nearly all the data on humans exploring the relationship between alcohol consumption and cardiovascular risk, including some indications of potential CV benefits associated with low to moderate alcohol consumption, are derived from epidemiological studies. Therefore, because there are no randomized controlled trials, healthcare professionals should not recommend alcohol consumption as a primary or secondary lifestyle intervention. Instead, clinicians should continue to recommend strategies such as healthy diet and exercise. So it's a lie. It's just a blatant lie. Let's move on. Scientists, what scientists? Vague scientists have long found that booze boosts health. Yeah, booze boosts health, but are not sure why. Do you know what it feels like? It's like I can imagine in my head as I see this, I see the Three Stooges in doctor's coats doing research. They've done all this research. They get to the end and go, "Well, I have no idea what we've discovered. We haven't got the first clue what's going on here. Should we go to the bar?" But anyway, now they say it could be as simple as chilling you out. Well, I mean, who are these scientists? Experts at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston said a small protective effect in vital brain regions leads to a significant downstream impact in the heart. A study of 50,000 Americans found light drinkers had substantially lower rate of heart attacks and strokes. All right, I know where this stat comes from. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Let's just finish up here. Brain scans from 754 of the patients revealed they had reduced stress signaling in part of the brain called the amygdala. You can't see stress in an MRI for right. Look, you will hear this quoted often. You will often hear people say, there is medical research that shows people who drink moderately live longer than people who don't drink at all. Therefore, the conclusion is light use of alcohol extends life. Seems logical, doesn't it? But it's not, because the whole data that this statement is based upon is fundamentally flawed. It is bad data. It is bad science. And I'll tell you why. Because they didn't ask the sober people, they didn't ask the non-drinkers, why don't you drink alcohol? And for that reason, anyone who has ever had a problem with alcohol and had to quit drinking because their health had gone seriously downhill, they fell into the non-drinking category. Anyone who was seriously ill and couldn't drink alcohol anyway because it would interfere with their medication and so forth, they were put into the non-drinking category. So this is why this is bad data, because the non-drinking category was skewed with all these people with serious health conditions. Of course, that group is going to die sooner than the moderate drinking group. So do you see how at first it appears logical? But the problem is the drinks manufacturers get hold of this data. They ignore what they know to be true, in that the data is flawed, the data is bad, and they just take the headline and they spew out garbage like this. Raise a glass a day. Drinking alcohol slashes your risk of silent killers by busting stress. This will be a press release from the marketing department of an alcohol company that some journalist has got a hold of and thought, well, okay, we need 1,000 words to fill the paper. This will be a nice little health story. Our readers will like it because most of them are drinkers. They'll share it on social media and so forth and so forth. So this is the sad state of the world that we're in. The media that unfortunately a lot of people trust is just a mouthpiece for the alcohol industry, which makes a product that they know kills their customers. I've said it before, I'll say it again. That's not just wrong. It's sociopathic, it's narcissistic, it's downright evil. They are no better than the cigarette companies who in the 1970s denied any link between smoking and cancer. The alcohol industry is no different. And they always say the same thing. If you drink in moderation, you won't have a problem. Yes, dummy, but most problem drinkers can't drink in moderation. So, look, that's the hard truth. And thank you so much, Earl, for sending that in. You got my blood pressure up, but it was quite funny in the end of the day. And no, a drink a day does not slash your risk of silent killers by busting stress. It's total garbage. It's absolute bollocks. So thanks very much for being with me today. I'll see you next week. Don't forget, if you are worried about your drinking, do something about it. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com. If you've just discovered this channel, please subscribe so you get regular updates. And I will see you very soon. Thanks a lot.